Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today, we're tackling something really fundamental, the power of wisdom, particularly how it connects to your financial life.
Yeah, it's a big one. We got a couple of key sources guiding us.
Right. First up, we're digging into something called Pursue Wisdom, the Solomon Standard, which, pulls these timeless ideas from Scripture.
hmm And then we're also looking at the willingness to learn and seek wisdom, drawing inspiration from the legendary Arkad in The Richest Man in Babylon.
Two really potent sources. So, our goal in this deep dive, essentially, is to figure out why this ancient focus on actively seeking knowledge, why it's not just old news.
Exactly. Why it's actually like a crucial shortcut for you listening right now to achieve, lasting success and maybe avoid some common money mistakes,
It's about moving past just having facts to really understanding how to use them well.
especially with finances, right? And what's cool is how these different angles, scripture, practical stories, they both point to wisdom being like the bedrock.
Okay, so let's unpack that foundation. Our Solomon Standard source hits us right away with Proverbs 4.7. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom.
Wow, yeah.
Though cost all you have, get understanding. That really sets the stage, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's not literally saying empty your pockets for like a quartz necessarily,
Right.
but it's screaming about the value, the immense value placed on understanding.
Prioritizing it.
Precisely. It's
Yeah.
about putting that pursuit of true understanding first.
Yeah.
You can gather information, but wisdom is knowing what to do with it. And that's often invaluable.
And the story of Solomon just nails this.
It really does. God offers him anything at all. And what does he pick?
Not gold, not power.
Nope. Wisdom
Yeah.
to lead his people well.
And here's the kicker,
What?
right? Because he valued wisdom so highly, God was apparently so pleased that he also gave him the riches and the honor. You find that in 1 Kings.
Yeah. It wasn't like choose wisdom or riches. The wisdom actually paved the way for those other blessings.
That suggests a real connection there.
A direct relationship, yeah. Not just luck. Solomon's focus, his priority, that was the catalyst. The Solomon Standard source really hammers this. Home wisdom isn't just nice to have.
It's fundamental.
It's the core ingredient for like real sustainable success.
Yeah.
Every way.
Okay, so that leads us straight into how wisdom and prosperity, link up. The Solomon Standard source makes this point that Solomon got it. Having wealth without wisdom, that can be a total disaster waiting to
I
happen.
mean, absolutely. We've all heard those stories, right? Lottery winners going broke.
Exactly. But wisdom has that power to actually build prosperity and, crucially, make it last.
And this is where Arkad, from The Richest Man in Babylon, gives us such a great, almost tangible example.
Yeah, he wasn't born into money.
Not at all. But he built incredible wealth. And his secret, it wasn't some lucky lottery ticket. It was a very deliberate, humble effort to learn how money actually works.
He sought out advice.
Actively sought it. And then he applied what he learned diligently. It's this idea of, understanding over just feeling entitled to wealth.
That makes it so real. It's not about passively waiting for good fortune. It's about learning the rules of the game, basically, and then playing wisely.
Right. And the Solomon Standard source echoes this with Proverbs 3, saying, wisdom is more profitable than silver and gives better returns than gold.
So it's framing wisdom itself as a valuable asset, not just like a philosophical idea.
Exactly. It has real tangible benefits. The message isn't don't pursue success, but maybe pursue wisdom first, because that's the currency that actually generates the lasting stuff, the wealth, the favor.
Okay, so if we're sold on wisdom being this, vital thing,
Yeah.
how do we actually get it? Our sources seem to point to a few key principles.
They do. And the first one that really jumps out is being intentional about it.
Right. Wisdom isn't passive. It doesn't just like osmosis into your brain while you're scrolling feeds.
No, both sources really stress that you have to actively go looking for it. It's a conscious choice, an effort.
A proactive approach.
Totally. And secondly, maybe just as important, is humility.
Ah, yeah. Knowing what you don't know.
That's the starting line, isn't it? Recognizing your limits. The Solomon Standard points out, kind of wisely, that folks who think they know it all, they're usually the ones who stop learning.
Whereas the truly wise are always learning, like lifelong students.
Exactly. Think about Arkad going to Algamish, the moneylender. He basically said, hey, I don't know this stuff. Teach me. That's humility in action right there.
In this pursuit, it might mean being willing to sacrifice something.
That Proverbs verse again, though it cost all you have.
Yeah. It suggests that investing in wisdom, maybe it's your time, maybe it's money for books or a mentor, maybe it's just swallowing your pride to ask for help.
It's a worthwhile trade. The long-term benefits, both sources are saying, they dwarf those upfront costs.
That's a powerful idea. But just getting the knowledge isn't the end game, is it?
No way. Application is absolutely crucial. You have to do something with it.
Right. Arkad didn't just listen to Algamish's advice.
He put it into practice, consistently. Same with Solomon, using his wisdom in judgments. Knowledge stuck on his shelf, it doesn't do anything.
And finally, this whole wisdom quest, it's not like a one-and-done thing.
Definitely not. It's a lifelong journey. Both sources imply that the wise stay teachable, they stay open to new ideas, different perspectives.
The world changes, right? So your understanding needs to evolve too.
Precisely. And building on that idea of always learning, another huge piece, especially from the Solomon Standard, is seeking counsel, getting advice.
Oh yeah, Proverbs 15.22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed.
That really hits hard, doesn't it? It highlights the danger of trying to figure out complex stuff, especially money stuff, all on your own, flying solo.
It makes sense. Even Solomon, with all his God-given wisdom, you imagine he still had advisors.
Probably. And for us today, that translates directly to finding mentors, maybe a good financial advisor, or even just wise friends who can challenge your thinking or offer a different angle.
Tapping into that collective wisdom.
Yeah, instead of just relying on your own brain power, which ties into the role of faith here, too.
Right. The Solomon Standard tackles that question.
Yeah.
Is focusing on money somehow less spiritual?
And it brings up James 1.5, which basically says, if you lack wisdom, ask God. He gives generously.
So it's not an either.
Not at all. It shows how seeking financial wisdom and having faith can work together. Being a good steward, managing resources responsibly, that's often seen as part of faith practice.
That's a really helpful perspective. It connects the practical and the spiritual. Okay, but let's be honest, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, especially with money.
Oh, for sure. The willingness to learn source definitely acknowledges that. It's human.
But the key thing is how you react, right?
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Look at Arkad's early tries. Some didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
But he didn't just give up or beat himself up. He saw them as learning opportunities, real-world feedback that helped him get smarter for the next time.
So mistakes aren't failures necessarily. They're more like tuition.
Yeah, tuition in the School of Hard Knocks. Getting discouraged just shuts down that whole learning process. Embracing the lesson is where the wisdom comes in.
Okay, this is great. Let's make it even more concrete. How do these big ideas play out in everyday situations? Our Solomon Standard reflection had some scenarios.
Yeah, let's walk through a few.
Okay, scenario 1. A recent grad, good job, gets a nice signing bonus. Big temptation to buy something flashy, right?
Yeah.
A car, maybe? What's the Solomon Standard response?
The wise move there, according to the standard, would be pause, don't rush. Seek some counsel, maybe from a parent, a mentor, someone financially savvy,
Okay.
and prioritize using that bonus for long-term good.
Yeah.
Investing, maybe paying down high-interest debt, building an emergency fund, something aligned with that Proverbs idea of the wise storing up resources.
So resist the instant gratification. Think future. That's the lesson from Arkad and Solomon too, right? Build security.
Exactly. Okay, what's next?
How about a young couple, super excited to buy their first house, but they haven't really figured out a budget or saved much?
Classic. The Solomon Standard points right back to Proverbs 15.22. Get advice before you leap.
Talk to someone.
Yeah, a financial advisor. Maybe take a first-time home buyer course. Talk to homeowners who've been through it. The wisdom from Arkad and Solomon is all about planning carefully, understanding the full cost and commitment before diving into something that big.
Makes sense. Okay, third one. A small business owner. They're really struggling. Cash flow is just up and down, causing stress.
Right. The wise path here, drawing from Solomon needing advisors, is don't isolate. Actively seek out mentors, maybe other business owners who've weathered similar storms, perhaps a business coach or advisor.
Get outside perspective.
Absolutely. Don't try to solve it all alone in your own head. Collective insight is often the key.
Good one. How about a teenager? They're just starting to think, hey, I should probably figure out this money thing. Where do they even begin?
Love this one. The Solomon Standard suggests a beautifully simple start. Just begin learning.
Read something.
Yeah. Maybe start with Proverbs itself, timeless wisdom on living wisely, then maybe some basic personal finance books or reputable websites. It mirrors Arkad's commitment to learning the absolute fundamentals first. Build that foundation.
Sets them up for life, really. Okay, slightly different angle. An adult who feels completely swamped by student loan debt. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. Drawing from Arkad's discipline learning and applying the wisdom here is to seek expert guidance.
Like a credit counselor?
Could be. Or reputable books or resources on debt management strategies. Get a clear picture of the situation, understand the options, and then consistently apply a plan to tackle it. Don't just let it paralyze you.
Take action based on sound advice. Okay, how about a Christian entrepreneur? They're trying to run their business well, but the finances are a mess.
The Solomon Standard suggests a really integrated approach here. Pray for guidance, for discernment, absolutely. And seek practical, wise financial counsel. Develop sound business plans and practices.
So faith and practical wisdom working hand in hand.
Exactly. It's not one or the other. It's both hand.
Okay, a couple more. A family just living paycheck to paycheck, no cushion, no emergency fund. What does wisdom look like for them?
This often requires some tough choices. Wisdom might mean looking honestly at lifestyle, identifying areas for potential change. It definitely means prioritizing financial education, understanding budgeting, spending habits.
Maybe look for resources.
Yeah, perhaps community programs, church stewardship classes, things like that. It starts with recognizing the need for change and then actively seeking the knowledge and support to make it happen.
Right. Last scenario. Someone takes a flyer on a risky investment. It goes south. They lose money. What's the wise response then?
Oh, the temptation is just to forget about it, right? Bury the loss.
Yeah, pretend it didn't happen.
But the wise response, echoing that willingness to learn, is the opposite. Analyze it. What went wrong? What assumptions were faulty? What lesson is here?
Turn it into a learning experience.
Exactly. Like Arkad's early bumps. Those painful experiences, if you let them, can be incredibly powerful teachers for making smarter choices next time.
That's really practical. Now, if we're supposed to seek counsel, how do we know who's actually wise? Our source gave some pointers on identifying good advisors.
Yeah, that's crucial. You don't want advice from just anyone. The reflection mentioned looking for people whose lives show, solid God-honoring values.
Okay, so character matters.
Big time. Also, look for a track record. Do they have proven positive results, not just in their own lives, but maybe in helping others succeed?
Makes sense. What else?
Honesty and integrity are key. But also kindness, someone who tells you the truth, even if it's tough, but does it in a supportive way.
Not just tearing you down.
Right. And finally, someone who genuinely seems interested in empowering you, helping you grow, not just telling you what to do or benefiting themselves.
Those are really good filters to use. Okay, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, what are the absolute core messages, the big takeaways about pursuing wisdom, especially financial wisdom?
We've hit a lot, but yeah, let's boil it down. I think, number one, wisdom is foundational. It comes before lasting prosperity, and it helps preserve it.
Okay, foundational.
2, seeking wisdom. That's humility in action. It shows you're teachable.
Good one.
3, counsel is crucial. Don't go it alone on big decisions. Success often comes with many advisors.
You get advice.
4, prioritizing wisdom is something that gets positive recognition, spiritually and often practically.
Honored.
5, think of wisdom as wealth in seed form. It holds the potential for massive growth.
Ooh, I like that. Seed form.
6, you need that teachable spirit. Humility again.
Lifelong learning.
7, don't walk alone. Find those wise voices.
Community and counsel.
8, pursuing wisdom actually honors God or honors sound principles depending on your framework.
It's a worthy pursuit.
9, wisdom isn't just passively received. It's an active choice you make.
You choose to seek it.
10, learning is humility in action. Every time you learn something new, you're acknowledging you didn't know before.
Good point.
11, mistakes are classrooms. Don't waste them. Learn from them.
Turn failures into lessons.
And finally, maybe 12, seeking wisdom with pure motives, really wanting to understand and do better. That's a path that tends to work out well.
Wow, that's a powerful summary. This whole deep dive, looking at Solomon, looking at Arkad, it just hammers home that chasing wisdom, especially about money, isn't just some, nice idea from ancient history.
Not at all. It's fundamental. It's timeless. It's key for real lasting success and for avoiding those major pitfalls.
And the examples, even though they're from totally different times and places, they highlight the same stuff. Humility, being intentional about learning, getting good advice, and crucially, actually using what you learn.
Couldn't agree more.
And for you listening, wanting to get up to speed efficiently, really grasping these core ideas, that's a massive shortcut. It gives you a solid framework for becoming truly well-informed and financially wise.
It really does.
So as you head back into your day, here's a thought to chew on. What's one specific area in your life, maybe financial, maybe something else, where actively going after more wisdom could make the biggest positive difference right now?
Good question.
And following that, what's just one small concrete step you could take, maybe even today, to start that process? Could be reading an article, asking someone a question, picking up one of those books.
Like Proverbs or The Richest Man in Babylon.
Exactly. Just one small step. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.